Okay, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I had a little bit of Oso Matli playing in the background for you. If you don't know who Oso Matli is, it's an urban group from LA. It's a multicultural group that started off in the late 90s of inner city kids, African Americans, Chicanos, Central Americans. And so it's the fusion of different rhythms and sounds in music. And they really hit it big when they became the opening act for Santana back in 2000, I think. Anyway, I want to say this morning that I have really enjoyed my last 2 weeks with you all from TechLearn. I'm really happy that I've had an opportunity to get to know you much more intimately, because technology is one of those things that if you're not very knowledgeable about, or if you don't know what all of the nuances are or the software, it can be kind of scary. And the last thing that you want to do as a faculty member at an institute of higher education is go to somebody and say, hey, help me do this. But I've been over to the Seaver campus, and I've talked to Alan at his Seaver campus, and I know I've talked to Landon because he helped me upload a huge PowerPoint that I had. So I've learned so much over these last 2 weeks, and even though the commute has been horrendous, because I come from Claremont, folks, so so getting out here has been quite a commute, but it's always been fun. I always have walked away taking a lot of information that I'm going to use. So let me get started. First, I want to showcase my Sakai site. So look at this. I uploaded a picture. I changed the title of it, and I put in a descriptor with all through what I learned today. Over these last 2 weeks. And I even have takeaways because I didn't know where I would put them. So I put them in here because that's usually what I do sometimes when I have outlines. So if you have a better way of showcasing for me how to have a running agenda of when you meet with students, that would be really helpful for me, because usually I just put it under announcements and I go week 1, week 2, week 3 when we get together, and I tell them there's the agenda, that's what we're going to cover today. For me, over the last 2 weeks, what has been what is really going to help me, things that I've learned and that I'm going to use are the ideas that stick with me are Landon's drilling us about PowerPoints, fonts, pictures, and simplicity. So I'll walk through a PowerPoint in a minute and I'll show you something that I did. So I'll show you before and then after. I didn't actually put labels on them because that was a little bit too complicated for me. So last night I thought, forget it. And then courses by Sakai. Okay, this is my page. This is what I did. I even put in polls, and I was going to have you all take a poll, but I don't know. I created it in, let's see. I created a poll in Google Docs. So I think this is the coolest thing. I'm going to use this at the beginning of every class session with my students. So I teach courses in English language development for the graduate students in teacher education. So they come to us, they're looking to get a teaching credential, and they also need to learn how to work with English learners in the state of California. And so I created a little poll, and this is going to really help me kind of get a sense for where students are at, what kind of knowledge they're bringing into the classroom, what they know, what they don't know, what they may have in terms of misconceptions. So, I have a multiple choice, and I can't remember what this is. This is check, I think. This checkbox, and then this is just a text box. So, so I have that in my courses here, so I put it under polls, so I was able to upload it, and then it says that I actually took the poll, so I have results because I'm the only one in the course. So I was actually going to leave it up there so that you could take it with me, take the poll, and see how much you all knew about that, but I couldn't go back and open it, but I know how to create them now, so they're here under my Google Docs, and I can go back and refine them. So I had fun creating these. Like, look at number 2. Where do English learners live? California, Malibu, the world, United States. I asked my 10-year-old coming to campus this morning, he's going to soccer game, he said, Malibu? I said, yes, even in Malibu. Uh-huh. So this is what my Sakai site is going to look like now, and there's still lots of information that will be uploaded there. Okay, and then Google Drives I've talked about a little bit already. Sharing documents and the Google Hangouts. I think I need a little bit more practice in doing that, so having the run through with you all was great and fun, but I actually think that as I get ready to do this in the fall with my students, it's going to take some time to feel comfortable in doing that. Okay, let me share the PowerPoint that I worked on for you all. And as I have the music playing in the background, I also want to say that I've used music a lot in the past, and so now I've learned through this experience how much more important it is. And so sometimes I've kind of shied away from it because it seems like we're always so busy and we want to get to it right away. And now for us in the hybrid program, I feel like I don't meet with my students very often, so I feel like when I'm with them, I'm like throwing all this kind of information at them, and I don't stop and think about, okay, let's take a mental break and let's see how much I've crammed your brain with, and let's step back and have a discussion, and music is going to be a great way to do that. So I can use this now? It's doing somewhere. Okay. All right, so in my PowerPoints, I have slides, PNG, documents that I've uploaded to my PowerPoint, and these came from Stock Exchange. So I was able to download a couple of documents and put those in there. And these fonts came from the font. This is Atomic Comic, I think. Not the one that I was looking for, but anyway, the one that kind of just stood out at the moment, and then when I played with it, this is what it did. So, new PowerPoints. Oh, and I had another PowerPoint up here, so I just want to show you the before and after. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I think you'll see in just the amount of information. This is what I was talking about. This is from a previous course, and of course I have lots of definitions on there, things, terminology that they need to remember, information, acronyms, lots and lots of information. And I've gone from what I was doing before and just playing with that to this one now. And you'll see that there's a very stark difference. Less information, more pictures, bigger fonts. And if I can get this to work, see if it does that cool thing for me. Do I just press up?
Is the little arrow on the right? Oh, you need to plug the little receiver in.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay, that would help. Okay. So I actually got really excited with these, and caution to when you're working with all of this technology, you can get carried away, and it can be quite consuming at some point. I didn't recognize what time it was last night when I was working on all of this. Okay. All right, so new PowerPoints. Sheltered instruction, transitions, Pictures. I'm still playing with the pictures because I think they could be. I was looking at, thinking in the back of my mind about what Landon said in terms of contrast, colors, hues, pictures in terms of clarity. So I downloaded this one and I cropped it and put it in there, and it doesn't look as clear as it did in its original. So I'll have to come back for additional support on how to do that. Can you tell which one of these children is an English learner? Can any of you? I'm sure there's, this is a picture off the internet, but I'm sure that there's a student in there that is an English learner, because English learners is a growing segment of our population. So in addition to the transitions and the animation, I also have what I learned through this experience, which is emphasis. So for example, you remember the previous slide where I had all that information and definitions that students need to know, because in our programs at least they have a series of state assessments, and they need to have that language internalized to be able to share it with on those state assessments that they're required to submit. So for this next section, here's part of a definition, and then it transitions into emphasis with color. So it's not just the animation and part of the definition, but now I can go back to them and say, remember this, because it's in red, you're going to have to remember. And look at this one. Continue part of the definition. So what was there before was one big long definition on that one slide. I broke it up into two different slides, and then put the relevant portion that they're going to need to write in that first slide. And then what I think is really cool that I learned, and I thought we had done it with Stella, and for some reason it wasn't working last night, and I was really frustrated, so I got here early, and I was asking Landon, help me finish this last step, because, oh no, it wasn't this one. This is more definitions and what we're doing in the classroom. But inserting a video into your PowerPoints. And so I thought, how am I ever going to do that? Because I thought I had downloaded first into my YouTube file, and then I was trying to access it, but it didn't recognize it because it was still a link. So now I have the link, which I've done in the past, so if I click on my PowerPoint, then it usually will kick me into my web browser, and then we can see the video online. Now it's inserted into my PowerPoint, which I thought was just the coolest, because now I should be able to just play.
Oh my God.
Amélie, tu aimes les pâtes?
Oui,
Elles sont bonnes?
oui.
D'accord. Et quel âge as-tu?
Et sac, comment se llama ta peau?
Tu as 5 ans?
Sac, comment se llama ta peau?
D'accord. Comment ça y est? D'accord.
Is it good?
Yeah,
Delicious?
yeah.
What is it?
Spaghetti. Spaghetti.
Do you like it?
Yes,
Do you want some more?
yes.
Amélie, ¿vamos a dormir?
No.
¿Por qué no? Ya es hora de dormir.
Yo te comieron
¿estás
que mi abuela
comiendo?
hacía poco. ¿Qué más?
¿Quieres
Mi
más?
abuela sí.
¿Tu veux un peu plus?
So here's a little 3-year-old speaking 3 languages. And that's the extent. I got to 4 slides and I quit. But I'm so jazzed because I have all of this new knowledge now to be able to use. And then the last thing that I'll say is that, oh, that's not mine. What happened to my site? Is that the last part of the homework was 2 things you plan to implement in the future due to the program. I want to get better at Prezi. That I found that a little bit more time consuming because there's a lot that you have to embed inside other lots of information, and so didn't get to that as much as I would have liked to. And Twitter and Facebook. So now because I want to use the music, Spotify. And so I realized that I'm now going to have to create a Facebook account that's my professional Facebook. All right, that's it. Thank you. And thank you so much to the technology team, because I really appreciated your support all week. And I've said to colleagues before, as we transitioned last year at GSEP from our face-to-face program to our hybrid program, I realize now how woefully unprepared I was to take on the challenge of working with students through a hybrid program. So thank you.